Right? That's a core exercise.
Is that right, everyone out there?
He's squeezing more with his scaps, his shoulder blades back here, and kind of pulling back.
See that tilt? That's what we don't want to happen, especially if you have weight overhead. That is not where we want to be. We sit at our desk like this. Right? So getting that posture fixed is a whole nother discussion we might do another video on.
Yeah.
So we're talking today about core fitness and how important the core is and how that can be more activated through proper breathing.
And understanding what the core is.
Right.
Because we just talked about a second ago, a lot of people think, okay, you say brace your core, or we need to work, I need to do core work.
Right.
And they immediately go to, let's do some abs.
Right.
I need to do sit-ups, I need to do
So right now, this is
crunches
a
or
core
whatever else,
exercise,
right? That's a core exercise.
Is that right, everyone out there?
Right, so
Please say no.
please say no, right?
Yeah.
So that is part of the core,
Right.
but the core is comprised of a lot more than just this,
Right.
right? So like, what else is the core? The core is your glutes.
Right.
The core is your lats, your adductors, things that go around here.
Did y'all see
Even
how
into-
low he went for lats when he was describing lats there? He went all the way down here. The lats go all the way up. We
they
call
go
them the
all the way
cobra
up.
muscle
Yep.
sometimes. Really beautiful, important muscle. And when we're talking about the core today, we're going to tie in with the stabilizers also. Because when you're firing those stabilizers, and do you have stabilizers? Yeah, every joint has a stabilizer that protects it from stress. And we're going to talk about also starting to be familiar with your stabilizers. And go from
The
there.
difference between movers and stabilizers, right? You
Yeah.
have movement joints and then or muscles, and you have those things that keep those joints safe, right?
Yeah.
So when we talk about, from my perspective,
Yeah, yeah.
being in the fitness world,
Right.
we talk about bracing your core stability. That is what you're doing to keep your body safe while you're moving dynamically,
Yeah.
right? So I'm doing a deadlift, or I'm bending over to pick something up, or I'm putting something overhead. I have to have that stability. So let's say I'm going overhead with weight. I'm not throwing out my lower back.
So should
Right.
you want to show the viewers out there what if I'm stabilizing well or not?
Yeah,
So I'll stand on
okay.
up.
So let's say he's pressing overhead. One of the things we're looking at here is we want to make sure that he's firing his glutes. His glutes are squeezed, he's tight, even his quads a little bit. We want those to be tight so that there's some stability in the hips. We want to start at the bottom and work our way up, right? He's going to then squeeze his ab. We want to his rib cage. So if his rib cage is up like this, right, we know that there's extension in the lower back here. We want to pull that rib cage down, squeeze the core tight, so now it's tight from here going up. When he gets his hands overhead, we want to actually, he's not pressing with his shoulders right here, what he's doing. He's keeping his shoulder blades down and back. He's really squeezing more with his scaps, his shoulder blades back here, and kind of pulling back and then straightening his arms from there.
And you can see I have a shoulder problem on this.
Yeah,
I
so
have
you know the
my
left side?
stabilizers are compromised on that
Okay?
side.
So
Yeah.
most of the time, again, we hear this all the time. I'm sure you've said this to people all the time.
Yeah.
We sit at our desk like this.
Right.
Right? So getting that posture fixed is a whole nother discussion we might do another video on.
Yeah.
Right.
Now if folks had the wall, could they see that better if we postured me against
Had
the
a
wall
whole
real
wall?
quick? Yeah, let's run over to the wall real quick because we could, so that way you all can see what this looks like. So here I'm against the wall doing the same thing.
So we see space. Like right now, I've got a big amount of space. And you guys can see here. Lift this arm up a little bit. There's just big space.
Yeah.
I can put my whole arm in there. What I want him to do is try to pull his rib cage down and close that space off a little bit. Down more, down more. There you go. Now notice when he did that, he had to tilt his hips a little bit. Squeeze his butt. Squeeze your butt, squeeze your quads at the same time. There you go. Walk your feet back just a little bit. There we go. Now you've got that all together. Shoulder blades back and down. Push them down, 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 down. Good. And now just do one arm. Straight up overhead. Good. Now the hard thing he's going to have is if he tries to go all the way back, he's going to have to fight and squeeze his abs here. Keep that core braced so that his rib cage doesn't tilt up. If he doesn't do that, see what happens there?
Bad.
See that tilt? That's what we don't want to happen, especially if you have weight overhead. That is not where we want to be.
Now we got to talk about breath because breath is that thing that calms the nervous system and creates a more fluid movement. So you guys are like in martial arts, you've heard the term flow. My professional dancers talk about flow. There's a lot of things that we talk about flow with movement. And flow is facilitated by proper inspiration and respiration. Inspiration and expiration, going in and out at certain movements. When you're doing your lifts, typically you say expire, breathe out on
The finishing part, the the final part, right? So it's
So
bracing.
if I'm pushing
bracing.
overhead,
Right, so that initial push is braced, and that finishing move where the pressure is released is that extension, right? Is that exhalation,
right?
right? Take
So-
a deep breath before you have to strain, so you have internal pressure through the strain, and then after the strain is done, then you exhale.
So I'm going to challenge you to help me out with my with posture when we're moving. And in our next video, we're going to teach you how to flow, how not just to move in one plane, but how to move in multiple planes, so it's very functional.